Okay, let's go to the third thing, and here we'll be talking about hosting. So, I know with the previous videos I didn't really talk about everything that needs to be talked about when it comes to that, and I'm hoping that this will spike questions that will help me think about more things to talk about when it comes to the idea, the audience, and the naming and social media and such like things. And something like website I didn't talk about. But let's go to the next thing, which is hosting, which is one of the most important things when it comes to podcasting. Because with the title, with the idea, you can change, right? Because you can rebrand and everything. But when it comes to hosting, yes, you can change from host to one host to another, but sometimes it might affect the overall the way you think about the podcast and what you're supposed to add to the podcast and all that. So the first podcast or hosting website I've ever used is Anchor. Anchor is owned by Spotify. Anchor is a free platform. It's it's I think I know two. It's Anchor and Acast that have free total. Okay, for Anchor there's no like a free plan and a premium plan. The free plan is free. It's totally free, and it's owned by Spotify. And I think it's mainly to encourage more content creators to post on Spotify. Um, Free is good, but free sometimes can be dangerous. I hear a lot of podcasters say that, and that comes with I don't know. Later on, like what if they changed to not being free, or what if the who the rights of I don't know why people argue about it. I honestly don't know, but I always think when I think about something free, I always think about how sometimes it can be dangerous to rely on something that is free. But anyway, it's good to use it when it's there because it's one of the simplest ways to start a podcast. Like you don't even need a laptop to start a podcast. With Anchor you sorted because it's mobile based. It has an Anchor, of course, a web version, but it has an app with your phone. So I've eaten a lot. Whichever phone that you have, you can have Anchor. I think I don't know if about Apple, but I'm sure probably it has. You can download the app. It's called Anchor, like anchoring means Anchor. Then you can log in and create a profile. Then after that, of course, you'll see the steps. Then after that, you can now create our website and our podcast. And the good thing, it just takes you through, so you don't have to be an expert in anything as long as you know how to use a phone. And the good thing with Anchor, again, is how simple it is to edit a podcast. Like, for example, yes, the editing is not like very, strong, but it gives you the bare minimum. For example, if you're using your phone to record, I think every single phone comes with a recorder. You record whatever you want to record. You can always upload it there, or you record the conversations that you're having, maybe on normal phone call, um, or other tools that I'll talk about later that can be used with the phone. If you record it whatever place you've recorded that conversation, you can always get that audio and upload it on Anchor. So once you upload it on Anchor, you add it to the library. You can always, because there's enough space, you can always move from one place to another. But the other problem with uploading there is your audio shouldn't be so huge because it doesn't take heavy files. So for example, if you've recorded your thing using a format that is heavy like WAV, because there's the MP3 and MP3 is more common with people. There's the WAV file which is more crisp and it's like HD version of audio. So, but it is heavy, of course. Everything that is high quality, high resolution comes with weight. But most they recommend it. So if you have a huge recording and still don't want to split it before uploading it, then you'll have to maybe convert it into MP3, of which there are so many online files to that. You just type and you get an online software that you can use to convert, or you can convert it into any. You can have the other options. I can't remember, but the other options that you can add it to using. So once you upload, you have it in your file. The good thing with this is if you've recorded something and you need to store it somewhere, you can always upload it on Anchor. Just uploading it and just it being in the files. Like, it's a good storage system. That's how I think about Anchor. It's a good storage system for, because you're not like you've not published it, you just uploaded it. So it's a good storage system for your files when you record something. It's also a good system when it comes to adding different files or changing files. For example, you have a new file. Yes, you've already published something, but you have a new file and you want to change that file. You can always record something else and change that file. That will reflect on all podcast directories that you've distributed it to. You can also add just maybe adding just an additional file, or exchanging a file from one file to another, so that maybe you've changed the ad that you want it to run. You can always change it, even the ad. Oh my god, my phone is getting heavy or filled, and let me finish with this. You can always change the files easily, just removing and adding. It's more tedious than Buzzsprout, but it does the job, especially if you want to do multiple files. But with one phone, it's very easy. So you can always exchange. You can always add music, and it will automatically fade the music for you. You can even decrease or increase the amount of volume that you want the background music to be added on the music, and there are free music that are already in the file. Like, you don't have to upload. Actually, the disadvantage with this, you can't upload music then edit it from there, unless you just upload something that already has been added background music, of which now you need another tools to do that. But with that, you can always choose whatever music according to the feel, because they have been they have been categorized, so you can add whatever feel you want to add. You can always add interludes, like you want to add sound like push, or I don't know, whatever you want to add. The other thing that you can do is you can trim. The sounds are already there, the small sounds, interludes, you can add them. You can also trim the audio to shorter whatever. And with that, I think it's one of the basic things that you can do. Just trim the audio, either by just cutting the parts that you want to cut out, either or remain, or just cut it into pieces, so that maybe you want to make it as different audio, so that you add something in the middle, or an ad, or an interlude, or whatever you want to add, or want to edit it individually. Like, you can always trim with that. And that's all. The other thing that audio does, Anchor does, it can give you stats. Yes, the stats are a bit different, but it gives you an overview of what your podcast is like what's happening, what's the audience coming from, which country, which gender. That's the other thing with it. Like, it tells you with the gender, it tells you something else I've forgotten. It has, minimal stats. It's not that very complex, but just minimal stats, just to let you know what's happening with your podcast. The other thing with Anchor is it's not nice. Like, the face value is not nice. It doesn't have support, and the face value is just not nice. I just don't like it, man. I think it's moving from Buzzsprout, which is very nice, then coming back to Anchor. It's a bit crazy, but Anchor is good enough. If you want to start something and you're not sure what you're going to start, or you don't have a lot of budget to do with that, Anchor is the best source to go to. Oh, I've talked about Anchor so much. This Buzzsprout, which has the same capabilities of Anchor, except that you have to know how to. You can't use a phone. You have to have a computer to edit your audio. You have to process your audio before adding it there. And you can always add small snippets that can be maybe as an ad, maybe that can be added in the end, mid-roll. I didn't see the mid-roll, either at the first or the end of the podcast. That can be now. That with that one, it's easy, because you just add your file and you can automatically process. It just adds for you the pre-roll and the after-roll, post-roll of you, whatever. That is now a small snippet of an audio of starting and finishing the audio. That one is nice, but the problem is you can't, if you want to add music, you can't edit, you just need to upload something that is a finished product. The advantage with it is the way you can easily add and remove ads between, or remove audio, the added audios, not the middle audios. Middle, like the whole file, you can't edit the file, but the added audios you can at least play around with them if you at a point, like you can just change everything later on. The other good thing with it, if you have added the $12 per month magic mastering option, it helps you with leveling your with your audio, especially if you're not you've not mastered the art of editing an audio. That it's a good option, because now you don't have to think about how to do this and this. It helps you with that because it just levels the sounds. It also helps put the music that you've already added more back away. It also makes the level of the whatever good enough. Like it just does that in last cleaning, but it's not. What do you know so much about? If you take your time to learn more about audio editing, you'll realize that you really know it all. It's a good thing when it comes to editing something fast, but it's not really necessary. Like you can live without it, honestly. The disadvantage with Buzzsprout, it has a lot of advantages actually, but the disadvantage, you can also create soundboards automatically from it. Like it's easier to create soundboards when it comes to Buzzsprout. But the disadvantage with it is once the 90 days are over, if you've not paid. If you've not paid and the 90 days are over, since you publish a specific episode, then it will be deleted and it will be over. Like you can't get your data back. I have had stories like you cannot. You can even ask support. They cannot. The good thing with Buzzsprout, they have good support system. They have a support team, but the problem with them is yes, the other support team doesn't like always like come back to you, especially now. I think for the other audiences maybe they get fast support, but for us I don't think the support is fast enough, but at least they get back to you and they'll tell you, oh no, you can't get your audio back, just re-upload the things again. What if you don't have a backup of that, because it's a lot of work anyway. Let's talk about just that. Let me talk about the rest of the other options that are there when it comes to podcast directories.